Howdy. My name's Daniel. Well, Boone, of course. I was born on October 22nd, 1734. My father's name was Squire, and my mother's was Sarah. I was one of 12 children raised as Quakers. I loved to be outside and constantly called to me. Sometimes, my siblings and I would go to drastic measures to be able to go outside. When I was 5, there was a smallpox outbreak. My mother locked us in our house to keep us from catching the dreaded disease, but my sister and I, not wanting to be stuck inside, devised an incredibly dangerous plan. See, if you got the disease and got better, you couldn't get it again. So, we ran to the house of a child with the disease and got in his bed. When we'd been there a sufficient time, we ran back to our house and got in our bed and waited for the disease. The disease was no fun, but after, we were able to go outside. So it was totally worth it. As a young man, I enjoyed hunting. But I didn't kill things for fun. I hunted to provide the food and meat that my family needed to survive. When I was young, about 10, I had a stick. It was like a spear. I could only get small animal hunting with that stick, but I got pretty good at hunting with it. When I was 13, my father yielded to my begging and got me my very own long rifle. Then, I could bring down any animal I could see. I won every competition I entered, and my trusty long rifle earned the name Tick with it, because people said I could shoot a tick off a bear's nose. When I was 14, I was out watching my father's cattle when I saw these big tracks. Forgot all about the cattle, and I went looking for one of those tracks. Mother was incredibly worried when I didn't come home that night. She sent a search party out for me after a day or two. Eventually they found my fire. Found me cooking the meat of my first bear over it. At 19, I attended a wedding and met Rebecca Bryan. She was 15 and shy, like me, but we immediately liked each other. I intended to marry her, but when the French and Indian War broke out, I felt it was my responsibility to volunteer to protect my father's land, despite my Quaker beliefs of peace. I became a wagoner. I drove carts of supplies to troops that needed it. Though, when I saw a massacre with my own eyes, it was too much, and I fled. In 1756, I was able to go back and marry Rebecca. Eventually, we had 10 kids together. During the war, I met a man named John Finley. He was a fellow hunter. Told me about this wonderland called Kentucky. By his description of it, I knew I had to go there. I tried several times, but I failed. Thankfully, our paths crossed again, and he was able to clarify his instructions. Turns out, I'd gone the wrong way. The next time I tried to go, with his clarified instruction, I was able to find the gateway of the Cumberland Gap and make it to this wonderful land. When I saw it, I just knew. I'd have to bring my little girl, that's what I called Rebecca, and our kids here someday. In 1774, I met a man by the name of Henderson, who, 1 year later, would hire me to blaze a trail to a plot of land he had in Kentucky, build a settlement on it, guys pioneers to it. That's probably what you most know me for. The Wilderness Road in Fort Boonesboro. Together with 30 axemen, we cleared underbrush and overgrowth for all but 15 miles of a 200-mile trail in 14 days, connecting various paths, making new paths to make a long continuous road. In 1775, I was able to start construction on Fort Boonesborough. I was proud to bring Rebecca and my kids to a settlement with my name after it. The land was good, and it was worth fighting for. Though, I was always fighting Indians. Even if there wasn't a war going on with them, there were always small bands of Indians to fight against. I was shot in the heel by them once. 2 of my sons were killed by them. One, my firstborn James, killed in peacetime. The other, Israel, killed in war. My daughter Jemima and a few of her friends were captured by them once. I was captured a few times myself, even forced to run the gauntlet. I became famous for hunting, exploring, and fighting the Indians. That acceptance didn't last long. I became a surveyor, but I got sued for many overlapping land claims. I never could understand why people weren't all as good-natured as me, or even suing me. I was elected into the Virginia Assembly, but that didn't last long either. I was in debt my whole life. First, it was due to not being able to pay off hunting loans. I would buy bullets and powder to bring down animals, but then I would sell furs to make the money back, to pay the money back. But before I could, the Indians would steal the skins and furs. Secondly, it was due to all the overlapping land claims. I was awarded 1,000 arpents of land in Missouri in my old age, but had to sell most of it to pay off debts in Kentucky. It was all too much for me. In 1820, I decided to lay down and die. I was buried in a cemetery next to Rebecca near Jemima's farm in Missouri. 25 years later, my bodies were removed, and now I rest in Frankfort, Kentucky. You know, I think some rest would do me good right now.